Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. So we've gone through the fountain pen tournament. We had the heats, we had the semi-final, we've recently held the final, and by an overwhelming majority, the winner was the Pilot Custom 823. It wasn't a surprise. I predicted that at the start. I actually predicted that the Hongdian N8 here, this would also be the runner-up. So nothing about it's really surprised me. And in one respect, that's something I wish it had, because it would have been nice to see something different. But it's also nice to see that, the people who were voting, they all think the same way. The Pilot Custom 823, definitely a well-worthy winner. So the tournament, when I was coming up with the idea, I was thinking, what's something different that lets me compare my pens? Obviously, that's where I got the idea of a head-to-head knockout competition. So we started with 8 pens, and those 8 pens, they were selected randomly. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing in the future is I may start with 16 pens to give a little bit more choice. What's putting me off that is to start with 16 pens, that will add about 2 months, about another 8 weeks to the actual whole competition. And I'm in two minds about that. I like the idea of having this 8 starting pens because that kept it down to about 2.5 months. But the thought of being able to have more pens, I think, as I say, it gives more choice, gives more chance for that random selection to give some better pairings, and then as we whittle down to see that improving over time. So that's something I'm thinking about doing next time. With all these thoughts, I'd love to get your comments. Please drop comments down below. Would you prefer the 8 pen startup, or would you prefer a 16 pen startup? I mean, we could even go really wild and do 32 pens. I don't know how long that'd last. That'd last ages. As said with a winning pen, the Pilot Custom 823, I could predict that from the start. So one of the things I may do is try and introduce some kind of way of ranking, so we don't end up with the 823, dominating every single round, which is what it did. I think maybe we need to have a better way, or even limiting and doing maybe 2 tournaments. The first tournament of 8 pens might be, say, under $100, then do a second tournament later in the year where all the pens are over $100. Again, it's something that is worth thinking about. Drop your thoughts. What do you think? Would you prefer it done that way to make it a little bit more equitable? So essentially the Chinese pens, the cheaper pens, battle out against each other. Whereas the more expensive pens, we've got the Leonardo, we've got the Sailor, we've even got things like the Narwhal Nautilus. Let them battle out against each other. And then hopefully that'll take away a little bit of this, the big expensive pen will win right from the start. Really enjoyed doing this. One of the things I enjoyed about it is it got me started doing the YouTube lives. I'm enjoying doing them lives. So what I'm trying to do is on a Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. Western Australian time is going live. I target in at the moment about 45 minutes. I'm enjoying the way we're coming together as a community with that. So I'm seeing the same names and being able to start actually building more of a rapport than you can do when you're talking to a camera and just replying in comments. It's a bit more interactive. I wish there was a way for YouTube so we can actually get people talking to each other. So, fetch multiple people in. Don't know, maybe it's worth looking at, maybe something to do with Zoom. That's something I'll look at again later on. But it's been really nice to be able to use this as a way to expand what I'm doing with my videos. Looking at the lessons I've learned, I say the key one is the different prices. I do think that was, I'm not going to say a mistake, it's certainly a lesson learned. I think it made it difficult because, I say, right from the start, I knew, the $400 pen was going to win. I knew that right at the beginning. Whereas I think certainly this idea of going for price ranges, that may help fetch that down. Started with 8 pens. Yeah. If I was to split it into price ranges, 8 and 80 will be good. But if I was to still do my whole collection as one, I do think starting as 16 will be worth doing it. One of the things that I have noticed, because the inks were different, so each pen was matched with an ink really for that pen. What that meant is when I'm doing my comparisons, it's not exactly a like-for-like comparison because the ink is different and different inks perform differently. I could control for the paper by using the same paper. The pen obviously we knew was going to change. So, and I'm in two minds about this. If I was to use the same ink, it might be boring because that means I'm writing with the same ink for, potentially 3 months. I'd find that boring. But if I don't do that, then, I'm taken away from that head-to-head comparison. So again, it's just something for me to think about. Another thing that I did is, and I started doing this partway through, is the video would come out on the Sunday. So the next 2 days, I would use the pens as my EDC pens and, put out shorts for them. So what I'm toying with, rather than using the pens after the video's gone out, is actually using it the 2 days before so that people have seen them writing before they actually watch the video, which gives a little bit better idea of how the pens are performing. I did notice the first day, 60% of votes came in on the first day, and then throughout the week, other votes did trickle in. But usually at the end of the first day, it was quite obvious which was going to be the winning pen. So that's another little change I'm thinking of. The other big lesson that I learned, at the start of the tournament, I came up with this. Never updated it since the start. So I need to update this. I need to be showing this in each video and ideally on the Sundays as well. Actually maybe update it in real time or something like that. Why spend the time to produce something like this and never use it? So that's another lesson I've learned and that I want to make sure going forward, I keep this up to date. I may even create some kind of, see if I can get like a WordPress website, some free website hosting where I can put that so people can actually see it. All in all though, really enjoyed the tournament. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I mean, looking at the performance of the videos in the YouTube metrics, it does seem that people have enjoyed watching them. I do intend to do another one. Might not be for a couple of 3 months. But again, if you like this idea, please drop a comment down below. Do you want me to see me doing another one quite soon? To get round to doing one, maybe 2 or 3 weeks time, I could start another one. But drop your comment. Be interesting to get feedback. Are there any other things that you've enjoyed that I've not touched on, or things that you didn't quite enjoy and that I could do differently? I'd love to get people's feedback. I'd love to get ideas for how I can improve this. The whole idea is to build something that people want to see, people enjoy seeing, but also provide, plenty of information. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.